Hey everybody, this is Steve 87th here, bringing you another mail call. Hey everybody, Steve 87th here for my June mail call haul. So this is going to be a little bit of a different type of mail call this time around. So let's get into it. So this is the mail call for June 2025. All right, so first we're going to stop off at a new brick and mortar hobby shop called PNP Trains. They've been around on the internet for a while as PNP Trains and are very well known for their N scale items that they have. They decided to open up a brick and mortar store in downtown Renton. So I got to finally stop by and see what the store looked like. Since they're really well known for their N scale, there wasn't much in the way of HO scale, but I did happen to find a Pizza Land kit from Blair. So this is a wood kit that makes up the famous Pizza Land from The Sopranos. Apparently that's one of the things that Blair did, was do a bunch of Sopranos. The other thing that I did was I picked up some True Color Santa Fe red and some True Color C&O B&O blue. The reason I got these was to finish off my military cabooses that I've got going on. So the cool thing about PNP, I was just talking to them, they were a very small store. Basically, they had been running their business out of their house for a while, and they finally decided that they wanted to actually go and do a business. So they opened up a small store in downtown Renton. They've decided that it started to work good. People started coming in. So now they're actually going to move their store, which you could see was very small, to another location. They are moving up the hill in Renton across from 405 to a new location. They opened up just this new last weekend, but I haven't been to the new location yet. So check on their website and see where they're at. So I found myself in Kansas City earlier this month, so I decided to stop by a little hobby shop known as Midwest Model Railroad. This place is really big. It's more of a warehouse than a hobby shop, which takes a little bit of the hobby shop away from it, unfortunately. It makes it a little bit tough to go around and actually pull out things and see what you want to see. But if you know what you're looking for, it's pretty good. This is their N scale layout on their N scale side. And then over on this side is and this is the back of the N scale side where they have an HO layout. And then this is their larger HO scale layout on the other side of the building, which is most of their big vehicles, their games and stuff like that, and where their HO layout is. So this is kind of a work in progress. I didn't get a chance to really talk to the people that much because I was in there and had to get out pretty quick. They did have a map of where everybody came from in the United States, which I thought was kind of interesting, and I added myself to it. Unfortunately, I only had a short amount of time there because we had to get into our hotel. This was on the Missouri side, getting out of the Kansas City airport, and we had to go to the Kansas City side. So, like I said, this is kind of a weird mail call because, you know, they're normally a mail place, but I got to go there physically and see everything. So I really just wound up getting a lot of little detail parts because I'm not needing as much stuff as I have in the past, but I am looking for things to put around there, just like Miniprints sells all the mini things that he needs to have. So I knew Midwest Model Railroad had these, so I went ahead and got a bunch of these. So these are the scale signs. I went and got the poles because, you know, I'm very much into my cityscapes and all that, so I wanted to have poles for my different signs and for my trucks that hold the poles, which I thought was really interesting. You know, you got to have that. Then the other thing that I needed to do, because of what I'm going to model when I finally get a big boy train set, I had to get some signs for the drive-thrus because I do modern age, so I needed some drive-through signs. So I got my Starbucks, I got my McDonald's, got my McDonald's, which these are all pretty cool. And I got my Wendy's. I know those are ones that I need to get. There's also some other ones like Dairy Queen and all that I should get. I know I've gotten these from Bernard in the past, but I went and got these as well. These are some 5-gallon buckets, both white and orange, That way I don't have to paint them up that much. Just something to have that I wanted. Now, I also got a bunch of detail parts, kind of, that I'm going to use for my military cabooses. So these are some parts from Wallace Locomotive Works. So you can see I got some electrical cabinets. They kind of look more like fuel tanks than electrical cabinets. I'm going to have to see what they look like when they actually get painted up. But these are going to be hanging out like at the bottom of the cabooses for either a fuel tank or for electrical systems. This is also, these are some RV style air conditioners. So they'll go up on top of the caboose because, you know, the old cabooses didn't have air conditioning. I got a couple of packs of those. And then I went ahead and got some fuel additive tanks too. In case those electrical boxes look more like electrical boxes, and then I need some fuel additives. So that'll all be for like a generator system underneath it. I might use some old air conditioners and systems like that I got from Miniprints and all to make them look like there's generators underneath there. Then I am going to eventually do a diorama of a Sunoco, of an old Sunoco. So I decided to get some Sunoco parts. These are all from JL Innovation. So this is an older one. I kind of liked it because it had all the older signs and then all the Sunoco stuff for the gas station. And then I also picked up the generic gas station items for a regular interior of a gas station. So I wish I would have been able to go back. I could have almost had time to go back before I left. But the problem was, like I said, they are more of a warehouse than a hobby store. So what that gets you into is if you know what you want before you get there, it's really great because you just sit over there and tell them, I want this, I want that, I want this. Otherwise, it's set up like a warehouse, and then you got to go figure out what's in all of the different little boxes, and that can be really tedious. So that was my little trip to Midwest Model Railroad. It was kind of worth it. It was a very, very large store. Friendly atmosphere, really big. And it's one of those things that if you do get a chance to get into the Kansas City area, it's kind of well worth the trip. It's going to take some time, or else at least go there with a list. The other news flash is you can actually order online and choose to pick it up in the store. So if you know that you're going that way, you can pick the stuff up in the store. And plus, all of these prices here that are on the containers, I can tell you, are not what you pay in the store. So you get a discount even in the store. So check them out either in person or online. It was a fun little trip, even though it was just a little side trip, but I was able to get there. So that's my haul from Midwest Model Railroad. Then finally, I got an order from Miniprints. No, this is not my Miniprints of the month. That's why the box is a lot bigger than it normally is. So this was kind of cool. Let's open this up and see what I got. Okay, so kind of clever from Bernard. My order must have been a little bit too big, so he just put it in the Miniprints boxes. So let's get that out of the way. And he doubled up the boxes, so let me cut those apart and we'll start again. All right, so let's see what we got here. Again, this is not Miniprints of the month. Bernard was holding a sale, and I came up and said I wanted some stuff. So, some of these I got painted and some of them I didn't, I guess. So this is 3D printed, made in Canada. Those kind of look kind of grungy and all that kind of stuff, which I could use some of these. I got some HO scale mattresses that were already painted and grungy. This is going to be really nice. The Washington area is known for homeless. And when you get out into the country, there's always these things thrown around all over the place. So those will be fun somewhere. The next thing I got was I got a couple of the U-Haul type trailers. There's always a need for U-Haul trailers. I also got the smaller open trailer and actually got two of those. So that was kind of a fun thing. I'll paint those up, get some U-Haul decals somewhere, make them all U-Haul-y. And then I believe I got some, what are these in here? Oh, right. I got some office chairs. There's a reason I got the office chairs, and it has to do with this Miniprints box, which is the Miniprints of the Month box. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. So these are a few of the things that I bought. And again, it's really nice. You can get some of the stuff painted if you don't want to do it yourself. So that's cool. So that's one half of what I got. The other half of what I got is some Miniprints notes talking about how fragile it is and making sure that we all like what we got. So thank you, Bernard. So then in this box, we got a few other things. So what did we get here? Some of the things I'm liking to get painted by Bernard. Other ones I think I can do myself. This one is running shoes. So these were all painted up in red. There is a reason for this. I don't know if you people know, I'm from Seattle, and one of our favorite stars, Marshawn Lynch, quit by throwing his shoes over a telephone pole line, so I got to recreate that one. And then I got my weed whacker guy, which that'll be kind of fun. I got lots of things to do for them. I got 2 of the tractors or the forklifts that are portable that you see for like on the Lowe's trucks and things like that. I do have the lumber business and all, so I need to have a couple of those trucks made up, so I'm going to make up a couple of those. I also got a couple of the John Deere Gators, the Gator tractors, right? They're the singles, the double seaters and all that. Again, it's the Pacific Northwest. We have a lot of people who use the types of Gators and things like that. These are really nicely done. Looking forward to painting one up. I'll probably do one in the Gator John Deere color, and then the other one I think may become a firefighter John Deere color. The firefighter John Deere. So that's kind of cool. So I said I normally don't do Miniprints of the Month because so many other people do it, but this time I was really inclined to show you guys what I got because there's a couple of reasons. Like I said, I got those office chairs, but there is a specific reason for that. So Bernard this month got us some guys fishing. He got us some wild boars, some piggies. We've got, oh, this was kind of weird. It took me a minute to figure out what these were. So last month, Bernard sent us guardrails. And so this month he sent us the ends of the guardrails. So that's kind of cool. And you can also put this on your bridges, especially if you have some of the Rick's bridges and stuff like that, some of those older ones that they have. This comes in really handy. So that was kind of a nice little thing to see, even though it took me a minute to figure out what it was. This one, and I'm not going to worry about this, Bernard. It says 5 HO rifles, but apparently one was taken away at the border. But that's okay. There's 4 of them, and I'm fine with that. They're going to be a little bit tough to paint and all that kind of stuff, but I might have some pickup trucks I can put those in the back of. So that'll be fun. I'm actually looking forward... Oh, this isn't the right one. I'm actually looking forward to painting up the boat. The boat's going to be kind of fun to do. The one that Bernard displayed and all that kind of stuff was all ratted out. He said it was an abandoned boat. Sometimes it's just that in the Pacific Northwest, they just haven't cleaned it yet. So it's going to be kind of fun to moss up and things like that. And then finally, oh, I got another weed whacker guy for the month. So that's going to be kind of cool. So I missed what I wanted to show you guys, and I will go and get it. Okay, so last month, that was this month's. This is last month's. Last month, our kit of the month came with an office. It's basically a 20-foot container scale office, right? Well, one of the cool things that I didn't realize until I started playing with it, Bernard made an interior for this office. Right? So that's really kind of cool. So you got this whole interior section that you can put. So you could either make this a big break room or a work area or something like that. However, there's no place for anybody to sit. That's why I got those office chairs. So the office chairs will fit in there just nicely. Okay, and one of the other things that Bernard didn't mention when we sent these out is that there's this little mini that he has on the website in the Mini-Me's collection. And this guy is going to work, just be perfect in this office section. Yep, that's a Mini-Me on the construction site with the papers. So if you need somebody in your office, going to your office, or coming out of your office for your office mini, for your mini prints of the month office, go back to Miniprints and buy a mini Steve 87th, right? Because look, I'm all set up. I'm doing the boss thing and I'm walking around with papers in my hands. So I just thought that this was kind of a great set for me. It works kind of cool. And I like the fact that my Mini-Me now has a place to go. Okay, so that'll be kind of fun to finish off when I get the chance to do that. So that is my haul for this month. So one more look at the haul for this month that I got, which was kind of all mail order because all of the stores that I went to were actually normally mail order stores, which is kind of fun. Don't forget your Mini-Me with your office over at Miniprints. That would kind of work pretty good. I don't get any money for it, so just I thought it would be kind of a fun thing that I did that with the construction, and now we've got a construction trailer. So everybody, thanks for watching. I am on the road once again. My travels are taking me far and wide. I'm going from everywhere from Port St. Lucie, Florida. And apparently I have an Austria trip and I have a Germany trip afterwards. I also have another trip, a couple of local trips, one to Clackamas, Oregon, I believe, and one possibly just in Washington, as I'm doing a lot of work for people. And I've got some other trips coming up in the near future, from what I understand, coming up next quarter. So I got lots of travel, lots of work to do. But it's getting fun, and I'm trying to hit some hobby shops when I go to these different places. So everybody, thanks for watching. This is Steve 87 saying keep railroading, and I will catch up with you guys probably again next month. Bye, everybody.